Research Foundation of CUNY wants to build a rooftop area for its tenants. So it created a competition for the students of the Spitzer School of Architecture to develop proposals for the space, which ended up becoming part of its class curriculum.
You may not be able to tell from the mess that you see here right now, but this is terrific space that really isn't being used for anything. It occurred to us we're part of a university system, and that university has an architecture program, so why not give the students an opportunity for some real-life experience in designing something for a client? We, the Research Foundation, being that client, use the creativity of the students in the architecture program to come up with a variety of interesting ideas for how we might be able to use the space. We told the students they had to operate within a budget of $500,000. And that had to include everything. It had to include materials, it had to include labor, it had to include any permits. When they deal with a client, they're going to have to deal within budget limitations. So we wanted to provide the same kind of limitations for them so this was as real world as possible for them.
To that end, 5 teams at the Spitzer School of Architecture developed proposals for the Research Foundation rooftop on 41st Street this past winter. The results were presented at the school to a group of judges.
Having this realistic project where we had to work on pricing and working with an actual client and a real location was a change of pace for a lot of people. And so it was very rewarding, but it was also challenging, and we had to produce new things almost every single week.
It was nice to have real-world parameters because sometimes it can feel very abstract what we do here. I like working within challenges like that, and I think it makes for a more creative process, so that was nice actually.
Bradley Horn, an assistant professor at the school, helped to manage the design process in tandem with the students.
The first part of the project, the students were committed to doing a range of research having to do with zoning and code and what would be permissible here. They also looked at a range of material types that would be durable enough to be put onto the roof, as well as economical for the project. We went through several rounds of development of the design before we finally committed to the 5 concepts that you see here.
We were giving a set of parameters that we designed for, and then in doing the process and in doing, the research, a big hurdle came up in the middle. We had to really learn to be very flexible to work around that problem. It was a good exercise in, designing something and then being presented with a hurdle and having to really design around it, which is what, we're here to do.
It was an interesting experience for most of us in the class, actually having to deal with the serious questions of how much is this going to weigh, how much is it going to cost, and what are our limits. For a lot of the groups, you kind of hit certain walls. You're like, okay, I need to re-engineer this whole idea even to just kind of get this either within budget or within weight capacity.
The fact that we have a client, the budget, and all these constraints actually help us to really understand how the profession works. But at the end, that's a part of becoming a designer, which is, you do it for for the passion, and you're trying to, create this positive thing that can help society.
There were no guarantees that any of these projects would actually be executed. I think that was definitely lurking as a carrot for the project, because they know very much that the Research Foundation is serious about thinking about what to do with the roof. We're hopeful that actually, either one of these or some combination of these projects will be realized. When students are going and applying for jobs and internships, I know in my office when I look at an applicant for a job, projects like this mean a lot.
What was good about this from our perspective was that we got a lot of these ideas from the students and had a variety of things to choose from. I'm not sure we would have gotten all the interesting ideas we got from the architecture students if we had merely gone to a single architect for ideas. What was good from the students' perspective, I think, is that in addition to getting some real-world experience dealing with us as a client, is the program actually built this into the curriculum for the spring semester. So all of the students actually worked on this as a classroom project.
We're trying to graduate a well-rounded student who's capable of taking something like this on, but also who can dream a little bit without the strict confines of a realistic project.
It was really challenging, but it was great to do. It was one of my first real design projects since I don't have an architecture background, so it was interesting.
I am happy with our final project. With any project that you do in architecture, there's always things that you look at after the fact that, I could have done a little more here, I could have done a little more there, but at some point you have to know when to call it quits, and it was overall a great experience.
our show for today. For more information on what you just saw, log onto our website at CUNY.tv or check out our Study with the Best Facebook page. Thanks for watching. See you next time.